Hi, Alex. Welcome to the Leanpub launch video for SecOps Bit by Bit, roadmap for first-time CTOs and startup founders. I was wondering if you could take just a minute or two to talk a little bit about yourself and about your really great book.
Hi, Lynn. Thanks for having me. Yeah, as we discussed before this conversation, both of us have the same problem. We can speak about work forever. So if I cross the line, just stop me.
Okay.
Right. So as I say in the book description, this book is not an exhaustive manual of any kind. This is literally the book for the first-time CTOs, engineering managers who just found themselves in a situation where their boss come to them and say, hey, we need to take care of security because we need to be compliant or because we need to win over this huge customer. And you find yourself like, what am I even supposed to do? Like, where do I go? And in these situations, you don't really have a lot of time, but you need to take a lot of decisions, apply a lot of policies, maybe install some tools. And this book, in my opinion, is a good helper, good handbook for such situations because it's relatively short. It's split into multiple chapters, and every chapter is straight to the point. Like, hey, this chapter about how to prepare your application for security. This is the chapter about infrastructure, about your users. So you can take a quick look at the table of contents and decide, okay, so this is where I think we need to pay a lot of attention right now. So I'll go there and go over the instructions there. And every chapter is quite short. Every topic in every chapter, again, takes up to a page, not longer than this. So you can understand, okay, that's what it is about. That's where I need to go to figure this out or figure that out. It has helpful links to give you more context about the subject. And yeah, I tried to make it as actionable as possible because I've been there and I remember like feeling like lost, like, where do I go? What do I do? And you go and search internet and stuff. And yeah, that's the handbook. That's the handbook for cases like that.
That's a really great explanation of the book and like a very, very accurate. I mean, I can say like, from sort of hard-won experience myself, like there's a certain point when you sort of like working in startup world, there's like challenges just come up every day and you're not expecting.
Exactly.
And having guides that like, okay, we've got to think about security now, people. And a guide like this is really great because like, it's just like things you've never thought of, all spelled out for you briefly, and like just introducing you to the category of problem. And so what's really great is like, it doesn't mean like do everything. And that's not what the book is for. It's like, do all of this. It's like, know what these things are. When it comes up or becomes relevant, then you can have a guide with that, like points you in the right direction, which is just absolutely fantastic. And I can say one of the things I love about interviewing authors who work in security and write about security is that like, there's so much going on under the surface of what they write about, resourcefulness and intuition, and sort of like the things that you learn over time are very kind of sound very simple when they're put, straightforwardly, like they are, for example, in your book, but they're very hard won, and you can tell when someone's been through the ringer.
True.
Yeah. The one I can't help but tell a brief story about the one time I used to be an investment banker. We worked on sometimes multi-billion-dollar transactions and things like that. And part of our security training was the story of a guy who leaked information that got on the front page of a big European financial publication because he said in a pub, I'm going to Copenhagen for a week tomorrow. A journalist from that publication happened to be sitting next to him, knew exactly what team he worked on for a group that invested in infrastructure. And they're like, an airport in this country is up for sale now. We've got confirmation. And, it's sort of interesting that like one of the things about training when you're working for a startup, like it's sort of hard to take. Sometimes one of the things I love about your book is like it takes it seriously. And it's sometimes hard when you work in a startup to take yourself as seriously as you should. People will target you. They don't know how big you are or how small you are, things like that. And you need to be really careful when you're particularly, when you're onboarding people, you need to be like, don't leave your laptop unattended. Everything needs to be, it sounds sort of like, again, like the hardest thing I find is like actually getting over your humility and actually like taking yourself seriously.
Right. And you brought up a good example about like people leaving their laptops. And although you tell people don't, they do. And you tell them lock your laptops and they don't. And you still have to be prepared for cases like this. Yes, you have to install great security-friendly culture in your team. That's nothing crazy to do. But still, I mean, people are people. I mean, we all make mistakes. And this book is also about that, like how to cover up for these cases, like how to get prepared for this, like what you do if like the security incident strike from the place you didn't expect it.
Exactly. And to sort of keep in mind that, I mean, you're the expert, but, to keep in mind that, like, you won't expect it. And so a lot of it is about, like, being prepared for when it happens.
To be honest, I think the worst part about any security incident, literally any, is that you never expect them. You never expect them, and you never expect from which direction they come. It's like they always catch you by surprise, like all the time. And it's good to be prepared.
Yes, exactly. The number one thing is to be prepared, and you don't need to read a sort of 500-page book and become an expert yourself, because there are experts out there like Alex who've written books like SecOps Bit by Bit. If you're in a startup, if you're a CTO or a co-founder, you work for one, please buy this book. You'll really be very glad that you did so. So thank you very much, Alex, for being on this launch video.
Thank you for these kind words. Thanks.